so happy. She's still on the knits. She loves an entire male. So I think the plan is today just to really get all the knots out, give him a little do-over, and make them feel as good as they can, bless them. You see he's got a slightly different coat. His is more underneath.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more on the surface.
Yeah.
To the best of your guys' knowledge, do you know if they have any allergies or?
I don't think so. Laurie's not giving me anything, so I'm going to assume we're all good.
We'll use a soothing shampoo just to be on the safe side. You've got a new girlfriend, have you? Good boys, but we'll give him a really good health check as well, so if you notice anything, like I see he's shaking his head a little bit, so we'll look in his ears and make sure nothing's going on. What are you doing? Is it you practicing today?
Yes, depending on what time.
So I imagine it's going to be about 11:30?
Yep, okay. Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah, fantastic.
While you're doing it, can you explain what the process you're going to go through is?
So, before we got them on the bench, we let them have a few minutes just to get used to the environment. It looks like they've been groomed professionally before. Before we start clipping them, we just turn our clippers on, use the dull side to see how they get on with it, and luckily there was no reaction. We've assessed their coats. Sadly with him especially, his legs are really quite matted, so we're just going to use a shorter blade to get those off and get him comfortable. And we can use a slightly longer one on his body. His face is in a bit of a state at the minute. It is. So we're probably going to have to take all of this off, but we're going to give him a really nice new start. Okay? And you're going to get professionally groomed really regularly and be beautiful.
How often do you think they would be usually groomed?
For these guys, I would probably say every 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
They've got quite the Labrador coat in the sense that they do molt quite a bit.
I mean, I saw downstairs there's a lot of hair that I didn't go sweep up.
Okay, it's going to tell me off.
Well, I've got some of it, but she's going to tell you off.
She's going to tell you off.
Both of us.
Yeah, sorry. We're just going to give them a little pre-clip before the bath. We don't know how they get on with the dryer, but it means they'll dry a bit quicker and we can get them sort of out of the discomfort as much as we can. It's quite matted on his little elbow here, so just going to really carefully try and move it away. But so far they're being so good. They're being very patient. Would you like to smell that?
I'll show off in the camera, but...
Hello. So they're off to a foster home, hopefully tomorrow, but they are up for adoption. They're doing their best to make sure they can go together because all they've known is each other.
So how does do you know much about how that foster process works?
It's different for every charity. The main thing is that the people are vetted. And you have to have a few references, like vet references and that sort, to make sure you're able to look after them.
Okay.
A lot of places ask for a contingency plan, so if you were to pass away, the dogs would have somewhere to go in that instance.
Yeah.
Good boy, mate. So Jessie's pre-clipped her dog. She's just popped him in the bath to really clean up his coat. They are really quite smelly, so you might give him a little double bath, and then it will just help us get a nice smooth finish on afterwards. He doesn't look to be the biggest fan of the process, but
He's doing pretty well.
He's doing very good, isn't he? Good boy. If he gets some of my hair too, I don't mind. Honestly, it's like we shoved his head in the rabbit.
I reckon you think if I can do that to your head, Jordan, and see how it works first, you'll be much more comfortable.
Say again?
He thinks that if Alistair can shave someone else's head first, maybe Arthur's head, he'll feel more comfortable watching it happen.
Yeah, that's really true actually.
Yeah,
You want to shake my head?
Go sit and get my undercut.
At least we get in the thing.
Yeah.
I'll make the sacrifice.
I'll even clean the blade as well. Good boy. It's here. Take a little makeover. Yeah. She make you into a poodle. Yeah. help you any way I can. I'm amazed at how good they're being, like, how tolerant. When I like phoned up, I was like, what size Labradoodles? And they were like, medium? They're big. Strength test.
Sorry?
Hamster versus sausage. Who wins?
Sausage. Wait, now look.
No, I was like, I'll help you. He's like, I'll take your fingers. Never meet your king, mate. You'd have a roll off.
You are very good. You are. You go. Ow. Where's the peanut butter?
Okay, we're going to pick some treats for Jake and Doodle to take to their foster home with them. So I think we might go for 2 duck feet. So it's pretty big. Pig's ears are always a classic. Big ones. Goat skin. 2 goat skin. What do you think? Buffalo ears. Chicken feet. Chicken feet. Let's give them a braided lamb each as well. And I think that is a great amount. A little bag of treats as well. I'm going to go for 1 goat and 1 rabbit. Nice. There we go. Little goodie bags to take away with them. They've been an absolute pleasure upstairs. So, so good with Jordan and Jessie. They've definitely been groomed before, so they're going to make someone really, really happy.
Very official. Yeah. Okay. Hi.
So how did it go with Dougal and Jake today?
It went really well. They were very well behaved. They were quite matted. Jake was matted on his legs and face, and Dougal was quite matted on his back. But they did really well, especially for a new experience with new people.
Lovely. And do you think it was their first time being groomed?
No, the way they acted, you could tell they're used to being groomed. I'd probably say it's been at least 6 to 8 months since they were last groomed professionally. But they, all things considered, they really did do so good.
And they were Labradoodles, so how often should they be groomed?
So with Labradoodles, you're looking at every 6 to 8 weeks for a full groom. We do have quite a few that will come in on the in-between for a bath and a tidy up, just to keep their coat in good condition. For those boys, they have more of the Labrador coat where it molts quite a bit, so I'd say 6 to 8 weeks, just to keep on top of that and keep the length in and the mats away.
Yeah. And where are they off to today?
Today they're off back to the charity they came from, which is Aura's Dogs, which I think is based Stroudway. Their potential foster home is having a house check today to make sure it's all okay, and fingers crossed they're off there tomorrow.
Nice.
So they'll be smelling good and looking smart.
Are they friendly?
They're very friendly. Yeah, Jake loves nothing more than a toy or a ball, and to jump all over you and give you kisses.
That's the Labrador, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Dougal, he's so sweet. He's a little bit more reserved. He's got that sort of like older dog brain on him, but again, he's really sweet. They both absolutely love food and treats, which really helped. But they've been really good. Nala, Jessie's bulldog, was in, and they did really well with her.
So how were they with Nala? We have Nala, the English bulldog, in there as well.
Yeah, the boys were really good. I know a lot of the times dogs can struggle with brachycephalic breeds or, black dog breeds because their faces are harder to read. But the boys were so good with her. They were really gentle. They weren't over-interested, especially as entire males. They were polite. There was no aggression shown. They looked like, really well socialised dogs, actually, which is nice to see.
Lovely. And they weren't kind of nervous around you and Jessie when they first met you? They were quite happy?
Not at all. No, they came in, they wrecked the shop a little bit. Their tails are really hard. They covered us in kisses. They did smell quite bad when they first came in, so they're definitely due for a really good bath. But generally speaking, they were just really happy, lovely dogs. Couldn't have wished for better, actually.
Lovely. And that the smell and the matting was mostly, you think, from being in the pound rather than neglect?
I think so. All we know about the two boys is that sadly their original owner passed away. We don't know how much time there was in between the owner passing away and them being moved around from here to there. But judging by the state of them, like I said, it probably was a minimum of 6 months since they were last groomed. But all things considered, the matting wasn't to a really horrific extent, which is nice. It was mostly just legs, face, and along the back. But they were fantastic.
And was it Jake or Dougal who had the big mat on his face?
So Jake, bless him, had the worst matting on his face and his legs, but he was a proper little trooper to get it all taken off.
And they didn't mind the scissors or the noise?
No, Dougal was a little bit hesitant to have his feet trimmed. A lot of times that can mean that sometimes they have pain issues going on their feet. A lot of dogs don't really like having the front legs touched as it is. But he was perfectly polite about it. There was no nastiness. He just didn't really want it done. And it was the same for both their faces when it came to sort of scissor finishing afterwards, which can be for a multitude of things. You know, they haven't had a consistent routine in the last who knows how long. And we're strangers to them, effectively. Like, even though they're really good and they're really polite, they don't quite know us yet. They don't quite trust us. But they were really sweet.
And they did kick Jessie in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, Dougal's got a really good right hook on him. Yeah, he sucker punched her, bless him.
So what happens next for them?
So as far as we're aware, we're going to keep in contact with the charity. Their potential foster home is having a check today. If all goes well, they should be heading there tomorrow. And fingers crossed, their fosterers will either adopt them or they will get adopted very soon together.
Yeah, they have to stay together.
In an ideal world, they'll stay together. The hardships are, especially in rescue, it's really hard to rehome large dogs, and especially two large dogs. But fingers crossed, because I think they'd be really sad to be separated.
Yeah, I think
So
they're in the
hopefully.
right place as well. They're in the countryside, so
Yeah,
there'll be
yeah.
a lot of options for them.
Yeah, and they really were just the sweetest boys.
And what's the local rescue called?
The local rescue is called Aura's Dogs. Yeah.
And one last question.
Yes.
What did they have done?
Oh, sweet. So when the boys first came in, we pre-clipped them mostly with a 4, which is a 9.5mm blade. They both had that along their backs and down their necks. Where the matting was, we switched between a 10, a 5 and a 7 to get under the matting. We then popped them in the bath. They both had a double bath because they really did stink. We gave them a little conditioning mask too to help with their coat condition.
What products did you use for the shampoo?
So for the shampoo, we used Dermadog Sensitive. I think it's called Sensitive.
The itchy one?
Yep, Dermadog Itchy, yep. And then we gave them their first bath in that, and then for their second bath, we used Dermadog Nectar. They're both really natural, developed with vets, and there's no nastiness to them, so it should help with any irritation they have. They were given a conditioning mask in the Herbal Dog Co. conditioner, which literally has like 6 or 7 ingredients, and it's just really nice for their coat. We then took them out, popped them on our tables, and gave them a good dry off. They were both fantastic with the blaster. Most dogs are quite scared of it, but they were really good. Can't fault them. And then once they're all dried and brushed through, we then just went over with our clippers again. I think Dougal ended up having a 5, which is a 6.5mm on his back, and then Jessie used a comb attachment on his legs. I think she used a 4 or 5 comb attachment. Whereas a bit front leg sensitive, she tried to scissor it down just so he wasn't being pulled around as much because he didn't enjoy it. And then Jake, who I did, he ended up having a 4 and a 5 all over his body. And then I did a 3 comb on his head, and I had to do a 4 on his face just to neaten up where we had to go really short for the matting. And they were really good for it. I think that was it.
Nice.
Hope so.
They look
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
I have another question. So what does this mean for us as a business as well, for the groom room? What happens next, do you think? Do you think it's something we'll
Absolutely. We obviously have to talk to you guys. Thank you again. I think the idea is if we can offer 1 to 2 spaces a month for a local charity, if we continue working with Aura's dogs, that would be great. It's really rewarding to really help dogs in need, and if we can make them feel comfortable and make them happier, that's the ultimate goal, as with every dog that comes in. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Spread the word for them finding a new home.
Yeah, if we can boost some social media and get more awareness out about not only the charity but the dogs they have, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cigarette time. Joking.
Bit of nicotine.
Yeah.
Nice, well enjoyed.
Jordan, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You're so